Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Sarah Murphy, Director of Membership with Association Forum. I'd like to start off by thanking you all for volunteering with Association Forum this year. We are so thankful for your support, and Association Forum, wouldn't be what we are without all of our volunteers. So thank you for being here. I'd like to now turn it over to Michelle Mason, our President and CEO of Association Forum.
Thank you, Sarah. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for the volunteer orientation. We call this time of year at Association Forum our new year. It's the start of our fiscal year. It is the start of bringing on new volunteers to help us achieve our mission. The mission of Association Forum is to advance the professional practice of association management. And I have to tell you, we certainly cannot do it without you. So we thank you for your support. And today is an opportunity to bring you current on new developments within Association Forum strategically, and also to understand how and have conversations, how the work that you will engage in over the next year will help us to accomplish our goals. Over the past year, we have worked aggressively to redesign Association Forum, and you'll hear from our chair, Paul Pomerantz, on the work we've been doing over the past several months, working through a consulting agency, and also to understand how you can get involved in the great work that we have before us. So thank you again. We can't do what we do without you and deliver value to our members. And with that, I'll turn it over to Paul Pomerantz.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone, for being here today. And thank you for volunteering and help lead the Association Forum. I'm going to share a little bit about our strategic framework, but just wanted to welcome everybody. And I do see a few members of the ASA staff, so thank you for being here. Very proud to see ASA well represented in this great group. I also want to welcome, a little later in my PowerPoint, I'll introduce our colleagues at Through Consulting. Through has helped us and guided the board, really advised the board on developing the strategic framework that we're going to talk about. So Philippia and Nick will be on the line. They are on the line now, and will come in a little bit later in the presentation to share with you again about the implementation. The board has been hard at work over the last year, and we really look for all of you to be involved as we further develop, articulate, and implement this strategic framework. There's a lot to think about here, and I urge you to consider it a framework for the future. So first, maybe we could go to the next slide, and I'll share with you a little bit about the plan. As I get started, I want you to think about and kind of remember two sets of words. And the two sets of words are explore, exploit, and exit. And those refer to how we think about the forum's approach to our offerings, to our value, to our programs and services. So we want to be innovative. We want to exploit what we have that adds value, but we want to exit those things that don't provide value. And then on the community content and consultation, which I'll go with you in a little bit, those are really the ways in which we anticipate that the forum will deliver value through its verticals in this new business model and in this strategic framework. But here you see this slide really nicely describes the high-level shifts that are taking place at the forum. I think we all realize that our industry and our professions are very different now than they were 13, 14 months ago. And organizations have changed dramatically. Our businesses have changed dramatically. And thus our job as association professionals is changing. So for the forum, we see ourselves going from a big event, a big event for a key industry, to really a much more diversified organization, offering a range of services that are really directed at empowering members and the organizations they work for. We're going to go from an organization that dabbles in some areas to really deep diving in where we provide value. And you're going to see some, on the next slide, some verticals which are intended to reflect how we look at where we're going to take those deep dives. And then the forum, from a staff and core competency issue, will develop their skills in specialized ways to help us deliver on this. And the board too is looking at its skill sets too, and developing itself in a way that could deliver on this new strategic model. Next slide, please. You know, we see at a high level, we see this plan is to provide you with the tools. It's really geared to empower you and to provide you the tools to meet your potential and your goals. And we want to provide you the tools, having met your potential and your goals, to help your organizations meet their goals. And we all know that again, the world has changed around us, has changed dramatically over the last year. Meetings aren't what they once were. Membership is no longer what it once was. Members look at value differently. Education has become a different kind of experience. Work has changed. We've become much more data driven. And so there's so many different ways that will be reflected in this plan. So along the top, the horizontal line, you see the business verticals for the forum as we see them at this point. One is the welcoming environment, which many of us are familiar with and have participated in, and is really intended to help the forum and our organizations be more welcoming, more diverse, more inclusive organizations, to really set the standard for engagement and equity. Then we have the collaboratives, and I'll share with you an example of a very successful collaborative that the forum has kicked off, which is the Healthcare Collaborative, and we hope that will be the basis for other communities of shared interest. Leadership development, again, helping us all reach our potential as leaders and offering rich programs for members at every stage of their career. And then using the Forum Foundation as an incubator for new ways of providing value. And there are already programs being developed in the foundation for that. So under convening, we see that meeting it's a venue or community for dialogue and debate. It's an incubator that generates content. One example of a new convening entity we have is the Kitchen Cabinet. It's a program geared towards CEOs, chief executives of organization, providing them a place to come together. Content, again, forum created, high caliber resources based on research that the forum carries out, such as our strategic research through the welcoming environment, training, knowledge products, but the forum really owning and building on content that is original to the forum. And finally, consultation. And by consultation, again, we really mean, exchange of advice, exchange of guidance. It's really to help organizations, through its members, through our partners in consulting, and through our members, really share and help our members implement best practices and put to work some of the knowledge that we are talking about here. So this may be accomplished through assessment and accreditation, through thought leadership, through metrics and benchmarking, and means of enhancing member performance. Next slide, please. Here's one example we're very proud of, and this is just one example for those of you in healthcare organizations, but we hope that this will be adopted to other areas of shared interest. But we've had just really great success with the Healthcare Collaborative. It was launched about 4 years ago. Going back to the early start, the Healthcare Collaborative was incubated through our foundation. We then operationalized it, developed a business plan. We originally had a schedule of a couple meetings, a summer and winter meeting. Now we are having multiple meetings throughout the year on hot topics. We're meeting in multiple cities. It's what makes the Healthcare Collaborative unique, and there's really nothing like it out there, is it brings together professionals of every representing every healthcare discipline and every healthcare trade. So it brings the entire healthcare community together to solve common problems and common areas of interest. So you see there some of the things that are reflected in content, some unique areas that are challenging those of us in the healthcare space, and finally the opportunity in consultation. And again, this really exemplifies the best, because in the healthcare collaborative, we're convening, we're developing unique content that's unique to the forum, and then we're using that expert guidance, that expert exchange to help organizations and individuals get better. Next slide, please. So our 3-year outcome statement is framed here. We've had this for a while. This has been part of our, our aspirational painted picture has been with us for a while and doesn't change. In many ways, our painted picture is like it's like a vision statement that all our organizations have. So you can read that, but just to move, some key points. It's a 2025 painted picture. It defines aspirational elements such as growth, partnerships, a digital culture, and staff resources. But we felt, and Through guided us on this, we needed to develop a 3-year outcome statement to help us operationalize where we wanted to go. So next slide, please. And so this slide really illustrates the 3-year outcome statement. It reflects the priorities we have heard and considered. And by the way, there was a lot of listening to the forum community buy-through. So what's reflected in the strategic plan really reflects the aspiration, the value, the outcomes that we've heard from our members and from our leaders in the committees. But this is organized to help us tell us how we're going to get to the painted picture, and identify strategic organizing, smartly investing in capabilities, revitalize business model, and points out to the highest priorities for us to focus on in the next 3 years. With this, let me turn it over to Philippia and Nick from Through to first talk about implementation and communication, and also cover anything I may have missed in this description.
Thank you, Paul. No, that was great. Nothing to add. You hit it all. The one thing I would like to double down on has been the emphasis, and what we continue to see as the heart and soul of the organization is member involvement. And as we move to the next slide, everything you're seeing in this is really reliant on the community being involved, beginning with this conversation around the volunteer orientation. If you, as we say it, through putting you under the hood with us, letting you see how the sausage was actually made, so you have an appreciation of sharing with other members where we're going with this. So we're going to be spending time this month and in May really getting ourselves together for a June engagement workshop. That workshop is designed to equip volunteers, influencers, and other leaders to begin to help socialize the business model. That equipping is going to come along with a few different things. One is working with Michelle. We want to put a space on the website where people can go to the business model, perhaps even get frameworks and ideas that were used to develop it. Along with, we want to capture data along the way of what we're hearing and experiencing. So we're going to build a feedback portal. So as people are sharing the information, they're able to go to the portal and say, hey, I spoke to this person or this group on this date. And these are the kinds of questions that continue to arise. This is the kind of group I've been talking to. That allows us to continuously upgrade and refine both what we're hearing, but how we're communicating the new business model. So it'll be just in time data as we do that. So we will spend some time doing that from June through August. Then we go live with the Forum Forward, another high touch opportunity for us to share the business model. And it may look slightly different from what you saw today, because we'll be getting data insights along the way to continue to upgrade that. Again, paying attention to what members are asking for. We will have an October town hall to further introduce the new business model, share at advanced learnings, and of course, last but not least, at the holiday showcase at the end of the year. We will be there to present it there. And again, look for it to not so much change, but I would say refine and advance to keep pace with the feedback that we're getting from members, to make sure it really is articulating both the member expectation and the kind of member experiences that we want to have.
So I don't know if there is time for questions. I know we have a lot to go through. Thanks, Philippia. Any immediate questions? Is there a way to raise hands or anything like that?
Yeah, this is a meeting format. So if anyone has immediate questions, they can take themselves off mute and ask. Otherwise, there'll be time for questions at the end as well.
Great. I think I'll just say, you know, again, I really appreciate everybody making the time to be here. It's so important, the work you do, leading our committees, engaging in the forum's core activities. And this plan, you know, as we develop it, as we build it out, you will be a critical part of. So we look forward to your engagement now and as we move to the next steps. So with that, let me turn it to Sarah, and we can take questions at the end to make sure there's sufficient time.
Thanks, Paul. So I'm going to quickly review each of the committees, working groups, and advisory groups for the year, and then I'll make sure that there's a few minutes at the end for questions if anyone has them. So the first committee, or the first advisory group, is the Holiday Showcase Trade Show Advisory Group. This group is charged with ensuring the show floor continues to meet and exceed expectations at Holiday Showcase. This group provides insight and makes recommendations to enhance value on the trade show floor for both exhibitors and attendees, and works with staff to enhance innovation on the trade show floor. The next group is the Holiday Showcase Program Advisory Group. This Holiday Showcase also provides outstanding educational content in a variety of topic areas for both association professionals and suppliers. This group reviews and scores the Holiday Showcase session proposals, helps to select the best submissions that will ensure a positive learning and networking experience for attendees and exhibitors, and helps to identify additional speakers for Holiday Showcase each year. The next group is the Forum Forward Working Group. This group collaborates with Association Forum staff to plan Forum Forward. It also reviews session proposals, makes recommendations for content on the program, and makes recommendations on Forum Forward networking activities, ensuring a positive experience for attendees. Next group is the CAE Working Group. The CAE Working Group is comprised of members who have earned their CAE and convene in order to develop best practices for encouraging and preparing candidates for the CAE exam. And you'll also see the chairs, vice chairs, and staff liaisons listed on the screen for each. The next group is the Professional Practice Committee. The Professional Practice Committee is a policy and strategy recommending body that reports to the Board of Directors. Its primary function is to review and provide updates to Association Forum's professional practice statements and to develop new statements. Next up is the Welcoming Environment Committee. The Welcoming Environment Committee plays an important role in promoting diversity and inclusion by ensuring that Association Forum makes everyone who interacts with Association Forum feel welcomed and valued. A welcoming environment is defined as the creation of a sense of belonging and connectedness that engages individuals in an authentic manner in which uniqueness is valued, respected, and supported through opportunities and interaction. The next group is the Awards and Scholarship Committee. The awards, this Association Forums honors awards the best and brightest in the association community. This committee is responsible for all of Association Forum's awards unless specifically excluded by board policy. Additionally, the 40 Under 40 recognition program is managed by the Awards and Scholarship Committee. This committee will work with staff to develop and promote the next generation of leaders and the Association Forum Awards and Scholarship Program. Next up is the Women's Executive Forum Program Advisory Group. They have a long name. This group collaborates with Association Forum staff to plan the annual event and selects the annual Woman of Influence Award. The next group is the Smart Tech Program Advisory Group. Smart Tech Program Advisory Group collaborates with Association Forum staff to plan the annual meeting. This group reviews session proposals for Smart Tech, makes recommendations on content and programs, and makes recommendations on networking activities for the annual event. And last, but certainly not least, is the Content Working Group. Content Working Group offers insight into topics and subject matter experts in line with Forum's content strategy with specific focus on Forum magazine. The goal for Forum's content across all channels is to provide innovative and actionable information regarding association management. The working group is made up of project leads, a board liaison, and individuals representing young professionals, mid-careerists, and CEOs. Next slide. So here's a little bit of information. I know a lot of you are longtime association volunteers, and so we thank you for that. You can go to the next slide, Sabrina. For next steps, you'll receive communication from your chair or your staff liaison within the next few weeks, and they'll work with you to set up the best time for the group to meet. We'll also have a mid-year check-in in October, and that's for all of the chairs and the vice chairs of the committees, working groups, and advisory groups, so that they can share what their group is doing over the course of the year, and make sure that we're all on the same page in achieving Association Forum's goals. The term for your volunteering this year is 1 year, and that started on April 1st and will conclude on March 31st of 2022. There will be 2 to 4 meetings for most groups. Some groups have more than that, or some groups have subcommittee meetings. All of the meetings at this time will be via Zoom, and there may be a subcommittee conference call in between larger group meetings. For the full committee rosters, you can visit our website and go to About Association Forum and then click on Committees, and you'll see all of the committees listed there. All right, I think that is it. Yes. And we have 6 minutes for questions. Who has a question? If you do have a question, go ahead and take yourself off mute. If you have a question about committees, volunteering, the new business plan, any and all questions are welcome.
Hi, this is Kim Ellison with ASA. Is there a general timeline when we should expect to hear from our chairs?
Yeah, within the next few weeks, probably within the next week or two, your chair or your staff liaison will contact you about next steps. And that is when they will also work with you on establishing a time for when the committee or the working group, advisory group can meet.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Great question in the chat, and I wonder, maybe Michelle can answer this, but are SIGs continuing? Yes, we will definitely still have SIGs, and they are having their own orientation. So those are all listed on the website, again, under About Us and then Committees and Volunteering, and you'll see all of the SIGs listed. Sabrina Adams, our membership coordinator, will be working with the SIGs to establish a timeline for the year. So thanks for your question, Jean.
Paul, I'll add to Sarah's remarks. One of the things that we're really focused on, and you touched on it, Paul, when you mentioned the 3 C's, convening, content, and consultation. We really want a stronger alignment between the content that's coming out of the SIGs or being developed by the SIGs with our overall content strategy. And also we see a really strong alignment with the 4 business verticals that you articulated earlier. So we want more integration and business alignment with not just the SIG content, but also the work of the professional practice statement committee. So there will be some reimagining, but it'll be a stronger emphasis on content and the value it will deliver to our members.
That's great. There's a couple other questions in here. Sarah, do you want to take us through those?
Sure, thanks, Paul. So Wendy Jo asked about collaboration spaces. Yes, we do have spaces in our online community where the committees and working groups can collaborate. That information will also come from your staff liaison. So look for that information in the next few weeks. Are there summaries of recent member surveys to gauge what the membership is looking for? There is not at this time, but there will be soon. That's a great question, Cynthia.
Well, Sarah, we also want to share that last year, October, we started conducting what we're calling pulse surveys. So we conducted a pulse survey in October to just get an assessment of what's keeping our members awake at night and how they're responding to the current pandemics. And we also updated that survey this past January, and we will make the highlights available to you. So as you're planning for your program of work this year, you'll at least have some real-time, just-in-time information. Our next survey will be conducted in October of this year.
Thanks, Michelle. And to build off of that, we're working on a conversation circle to highlight the results from those first two surveys. So be on the lookout in the next few weeks for information on that conversation circle. Katie, did you have a question?
Yes, this is Katie Wokus. I'm at the ASA, and when I went on to fill out the application for volunteering, I was looking for the Healthcare Collaborative and happily landed with the CAE Working Group, and I'm really happy to serve in that role. I did not see room for volunteering with the Healthcare Collaborative. Is that something to be added in the future to get on that planning committee or working with that group of folks?
Yeah, I'll start and then Paul can continue with a response to that. The Healthcare Collaborative, as Paul mentioned, has been in existence for 4 years. And over that time, we've had a Healthcare Collaborative Advisory Committee of C-suite executives that have advised on how we, on the topics that we discussed during those collaborative meetings, as well as the thought leaders, the industry thought leaders that we invite in. As we evolve our collaborative model, I certainly see other collaboratives an opportunity for there to be some volunteer engagement. Paul, is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
No, I think you said it well. It was really designed as a C-suite type of engagement for associations and other healthcare organizations. And I think Michelle's spot on, and that we'll look at for other collaboratives to meet other needs as we move forward.
Perfect. Thank you. Did anyone else have any questions today? All right. Michelle, Paul, anything else to add?
Just a hearty thanks to everyone. Yeah. We're looking forward to working with everybody this year.
Yeah, definitely. I echo that, Paul. A sincere thank you, but also know that your voice is very important to us. We are designing a model that's very agile, and we want to hear from you. We believe that you're out there scanning on behalf of Association Forum, and you're able to keep us, help us to maintain a level of relevancy by providing us feedback. We believe that feedback is a gift, and so continue to help us understand what you're learning and what you're sensing. And the model that was described earlier today is really designed so that we can take action on what we're learning from you. So thank you for your volunteerism.
Wonderful, thank you. If you have any other questions, please reach out to your staff liaison, or you can email membership@associationforum.org. And thank you so much for being here with us today. We are so excited to work with you this year. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.